people are so worried about followers and likes. My concern is impact. Am I being impactful? Am I actually providing something of value? Am I actually helping people? And even if you're helping 10 to 20 people on a regular basis, like that's huge. Like people think like, oh, like what? I only got 50 likes. It's like, imagine if you had 50 people around you in a room. That's a lot of people. And so I think that being authentic to yourself and allowing yourself to portray yourself as a complex individual with those different parts is one of the things that has allowed me to enjoy this so much.
Welcome back to Med Creator 101 podcast, the go-to podcast for HCPs. I'm Mimi Banks, the founder of MD Social, and I'm here with my co-host, board-certified dermatologist and dermfluencer, Dr. Dustin Portella.
Good to see you again, Mimi. Always happy to be here, and I've been excited for today's guest. A friend of mine for a while, Dr. Wallace Nozile. He's a double board-certified dermatologist in dermatology and Mohs micrographic surgery. He is on a mission to bridge the gap between medical knowledge and everyday understanding. He's known for teaching his followers what their hair, skin, and nails reveal about their overall health with warmth, artistry, and music. His singing and songwriting bring a whole new dimension to that medical education online, and that's where I first saw him, was through his music. So Dr. Wallace Nozile, welcome to Med Creator.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Portella. I really, really appreciate it. Man, you made me sound really good.
Well, it's only the truth.
We speak the truth. It's a personal PR.
Oh, thank you.
And speaking of you and how amazing you are, I want to get to know you a little bit, as we say, beyond the bio, with a few personal questions, rapid fire style.
Let's do it.
All right. I got really excited about this one. CD, cassette, or record player?
Record player.
And what would be on your Spotify Wrapped?
My Spotify rap would be a lot of J. Cole, a lot of 60s, 70s R&B, definitely a lot of Marvin Gaye. He's my number one favorite of all time, so I have a lot of songs of his on my playlist. Podcasts don't make it onto a rap, do they? Nah, it's just songs.
I actually wonder now if they do.
Yeah, they might. I don't know.
Oh, psychology podcasts. If so, then that would probably make it onto my rap as well.
Surgery playlist, R&B or lo-fi beats?
Whenever I'm doing Mohs surgery, it's usually 60s, 70s R&B that's playing in the background.
Nice.
Yeah, sing along for the patients.
My nurse will sing to the patients when I'm doing surgery, and then they would say, hey, Dr. Portella, why don't you sing? And I go, if I start singing, that'll be the most painful part of this whole experience.
Oh, God.
you just got to try it out, man. You never know.
Oh, my God. That was like almost a dad joke, too.
I know.
The Mohs painful part. Mohs, I caught that one.
Yeah, if you're not used to my dad jokes by now, Mimi, I don't know.
You know, I just had to like call it out for everybody else.
I appreciate you. I'm not going to lie, it went right over my head.
All right, content. Go with the flow or plan it out?
Mostly plan it out. A little bit of both. I mostly plan it out. But if something pops out that I really, really want to do in the moment, like I'm really excited about it, then I'll do it right then.
So recording reels or songwriting session?
Songwriting session. That one's easy. It'll definitely be a songwriting session. Don't get me wrong, I like coming up with the concepts of reels. I like recording reels. I like recording, midweek music, what used to be Music Mondays. But when I'm writing the song, like that is the best feeling. Like I get excited. Like if I write a line and I'm just like, oh, that's a damn good line. Like I'm hype for the rest of it.
I literally just saw Taylor Swift talking about this, about how she does it all, but seriously, how the most exciting part is songwriting.
100%. It's the best. I think I'm a good singer. Like, I like my voice. But like, if someone were just like, meh, you're okay, I'd understand. Like my voice isn't anything extravagant or special, but like my writing, like I love writing. And I think I'm pretty good at writing.
That's where you get in the zone.
That's right.
I think that's key, is to like what you do. I think that's like first and foremost before anything else, that it's not to say that it's not hard, but it's something that you enjoy doing, which also the passion will come through.
100%.
So we like to begin at the beginning, as they say, and always curious to find out, what was your first post and where? What channel? Do you remember?
My first post ever?
Yeah.
All right. So my first post ever was way before I was on social media at all. I actually did not like social media whatsoever. I wasn't on social media until after residency. But before residency, my first posts were, I literally created a page because it was my cousin's wedding and his wife wanted me to hashtag the photos that I took of their wedding. So I created a page, put the pictures up, hashtag their wedding, and never went out to the page again.
And then how did you decide to start again after residency?
So after residency, I wanted to get back into music. People said, well, if you'd like to do music now, old man, you have to get on social media. And in my mind, I was just like, why? Because I come from the time where you would just record a song, go to the radio stations and get them played. And luckily, I was able to get my songs played at radio stations. You'd go to labels and you'd, knock on the doors and like beg to talk to people. Never got a conversation. And you'd, like go around and perform. But there wasn't any social media. And so it was just really foreign to me, the concept of, I'll just like put my songs out on social media and somehow that's going to lead to furthering my music career. I didn't understand it, but evidently that's what you had to do. So I started getting into social media through singing and songwriting, and I would post original songs. Nobody cared. I thought like, I'm going to be, I called myself, my handle is the musician physician. So I'm like, that sounds real clever. Right. And so, I'm in my scrubs singing, didn't take them off when I got home from work. I was like, no, I got to be in the scrubs. So I was in my scrubs singing original songs. Absolutely no one cared. Except for Dr. Dustin Portella. He was like, he followed me and he always liked and commented my stuff. So I always thank him because he was like one of 5 people that would comment and like and engage with my content regularly. And then it actually wasn't until an AAD and Dustin, we were chatting, like we ran into each other and we were chatting. He was like, hey man, I love the page. And I was like, thanks man. Thanks for being like one of 5 people to like consistently engage with my stuff. And he was just like, you should do a Derm page. And I don't even know if he remembers it because I remember the first time I told the story, he like made this like funny face, but I just like went on a rant. I was like, bro, I hate social media. I love music and I hate my music page. And I'm thinking in my head, like, now you want me to do this for work? And like he listened to it, in true Dr. Portella fashion. He just, sat there, was very attentive. He was like, okay, he was an attentive listener. And then at the end, he was just like, you should do a Derm page and just walks off. And I was just like, what was that?
Just drops the bomb.
Yeah, he just dropped the mic, walked away, and was just like, I said what I said, figure it out. I'm not giving you any explanations, but it's what you should do. And just the manner in which you did it, I was like, all right, well, let me just, I sat on it for a few weeks because, again, I'm stubborn. Like, I am very stubborn. So I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't even like the music page. I don't want to add another page. And then after a couple of weeks, I was like, you know what? Let me just do a Derm page. And I did the page. I did a post. And like within 2 weeks, I probably had double the amount of followers than what I had gained in over like 2 years on my music page. And I was like, all right, what the heck? I was upset at first. I was like, what is this? All I did, I'm sitting here pouring my soul into my music. Absolutely no one cares. I come up here in like a white coat and just, explain something. And all of a sudden I have all of these followers. And it's not all a bunch of followers, but it was, it's several thousand followers. And I remember at first I was a little upset about it, but then I started thinking about it. It's like, well, when people get on social media, they're looking for something that they find value in, right? And unfortunately, like when it comes to music, it doesn't matter how much talent you have or how good your songs are, good your lyrics are. Like if it's not bringing value to someone, it's not really doing much for you. But then the point at which I finally started liking it, I think, was when I realized people were actually listening and they were actually hungry for this information. So I think that's what finally kind of got me into it, especially because I've always been really big on healthcare disparities. And I realized that I was able to provide information that a lot of people otherwise wouldn't have access to. And that was when I think I started actually really liking social media.
Yeah. And you've done such a phenomenal job with it, the way that you address those topics. And then I don't know if you started back with the music on your Derm page, but at what point did the Music Mondays start coming in? Because you found a very creative way to blend your passion for music and the education that you do.
Yeah. So for me, I wanted to get back into music, right? Like I still was writing music on the side and like I've written and recorded songs that I really haven't shared with anybody else. It's just like my catalog for me. And plus I also do try to shop them around. Like I actually do write for other artists and I would like to at some point write for TV film. So I still write, but I wanted an outlet to actually share my creativity. And I didn't want to go back to doing another page because again, that's more social media. And it's just like, I only have so much time in the day. I like being like present in real life, not on my phone, hanging out with my wife, going outdoors, doing things. But I really wanted to get back into music. And one day, I don't know why, but I just started thinking about Weird Al, and I remember how Weird Al would like make those parody songs. And I just thought I could do that. I wanted to bring music into my med page, but I knew that if it had nothing to do with medicine or dermatology, like it wouldn't make sense. And people would just be like, what is this guy even doing? And I'm a jokester. Like I am goofy. Like I'm goofy. Dr. Portela knows, like you will find me like dancing in the streets every day. I do not take myself very seriously. And my patients love that, right? Because even in the office, like I'm goofy with my patients. Like, yeah, I'm giving them the education, I'm giving them the information, but I'm not doing it from the position of a doctor who speaks in a condescending tone. I show them that I'm just a person that happens to have information that I can share with them. And so I'm really good at writing goofy, funny lyrics. And so I was like, well, I can educate on skincare and dermatology, but do it in a funny and goofy way through music. And I can do it through popular songs, which people already know and love, right? Because no matter how good your original song is, if no one's ever heard it before and they don't know you, who cares? But if it's a song that they have a memory tied to, and then all of a sudden I turn it into skincare, which they're already passionate about as well, they're going to love that. And so that was how I got the idea to do that. And it's been really well received, which I love because now I get my musical therapy every week.
Yeah. And you do an amazing job with it.
Thank you.
I love the approach that you're thinking, they have an emotion tied to that. And the music is the hook. Somebody hears that beat and they're like, oh, I love this song. And then it's like, wait, this is what is he doing here?
And they want to see what you're going to say.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I think every Music Monday, I'm just like jaw dropped emoji. I'm like, holy cow, he did it again. So what does your writing look like? Is this something you sit down and you work on it, or ideas are coming to you? You hear a song on the radio and you're like, how can I twist this? Like, what does that look like?
I just think about all the songs that I loved growing up. And my wife, Juana, she gives me a lot of good recommendations as well. She's like, you should do this song. She has really good taste in music. And she, I think, is a little more in touch with what people want to hear more so than myself as well. So I always take her recommendations seriously.
Well, for anybody listening, if you haven't found Music Mondays on Dr. Wallace's page, you definitely have to check it out. Turn on the alerts when he posts on Mondays and check those out.
Thank you so much. Although I actually have changed it. I actually changed it to midweek music very recently.
Midweek music. Okay.
Yeah. So instead of Music Mondays, I'm posting now on Wednesdays. And so I turned it to midweek music. Yeah. Just because I feel like, sometimes after the weekend, like I feel like I get stronger engagement on Wednesdays because, it's the middle of the week and people are like kind of getting ready for the weekend.
Get you through the week.
They need that extra hype.
Exactly. Whereas when you're just getting out of the weekend, at least for me, like I'm focused. Monday morning, like I'm trying to get into work mode and I'm not really trying to look at any other things. Not that that's how everybody is, but at least that's how I am.
And that makes sense. And that kind of gets into you're paying attention to your audience, you're looking at your analytics. And when it comes to some of the other content that you're doing, what is your ideation process like to take a complex clinical topic like hyperpigmentation or hair loss and to also make something like that digestible to get that scroll stopping hook? How do you get those ideas and turn them into, the other kinds of videos that you do?
How do I make it more digestible? I have a rule of thumb. If you can't explain it to a 14-year-old in less than 5 minutes, you don't understand it yet. You just don't. And so there are 3 things that I think about when it comes to things not only being digestible, but you're saying like, how do I come up with hooks that I think will grab someone's attention? Number 1 has to be relatable, right? It has to be relatable. It has to be something you've seen before, something that, you felt before. And then after that, it has to be relevant. Like you have to be able to see yourself in it. Number 2, I make analogies and stories. Because speaking in medical jargon, like no one's ever going to try to hear what you're saying. So an emotion is also a good way to grab someone's attention, whether it's curiosity, whether it's validation, humor, shock. And then the last one I would say is pattern disruption. So saying something in a way that someone hasn't heard it before. So instead of saying, all right, we're going to talk about hair loss today, maybe saying, does it look like your shower drain is taking collections for a wig factory or taking donations for a wig factory?
Yeah.
Let's talk. That's a lot more engaging than hearing another person say, we're going to talk about hair loss today.
Totally. I want to go back. Something that you said that it resonates, that it's relevant, that it has emotion. And then you said pattern breaking, but newness. So I think that that's actually really great key learnings, or to help simplify or have people kind of do a checklist for themselves when they're thinking about how to create content or when they're thinking about hooks.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Thank you.
I did want to ask you also, Dr. Nozile, something we have not talked about a lot on the podcast, but it's your strategy with Instagram stories. And you have very engaging stories, and you make a lot of use of the stickers and getting your audience to interact with your stories. I'm wondering if that's a conscious effort, just something that came naturally to you. Maybe you could talk about your story strategies for engaging the audience of people that's already following you.
To be honest, I think it was something that was a little more intuitive that I turned into a strategy. For me, it was just, what do I find interesting about my day? Or what's something that I found interesting? Or what's something that patients tend to be either shocked about or tend to be pretty polarized about and how they feel about it, right? And that's why I usually use like those poll stickers, like, how do you feel about this? Because also understanding my audience a little more, like how they feel about certain things or what they want to know about it, also allows me to recognize what type of content I need to be putting out and what type of content is going to be resonating with the people that are following me. Because again, like, it all comes down to providing value, right? Like, if you're not providing value for someone, whether that value be education, entertainment, whatever it is, then people just aren't going to be engaged. And so if something's happening during the day that I think is like super fun, I'm going to be like, yeah, let me ask a question about that. Like, around here in Atlanta, we have way too many of those Waymo cars, those cars that have nobody driving in them.
LA too.
Yeah, dude, it is nuts. Like, they are everywhere. I actually, down my street, 8 of them were in a line on this side street and just pulled out. I don't know what that was about, but it freaked me out. All right. And so what I did was, I was in my car. I saw one coming head on and I was like, this thing's supposed to be pretty safe, right? It's supposed to know what it's doing. I went right in front of the car, like head on. I went right in front of the car, stopped, and just waited to see what it would do. I just waited on the road. And it drove up to me, started slowing down, and just stopped. And it didn't go around me. It just didn't know what to do. It just hung out there. And so I was like, let me take a picture of this thing. I took a picture and I put a poll. I was like, would you get into a car that didn't have a driver? Because in my mind, that's absolutely nuts, right? But it's where we're headed. It's the direction we're going in.
Sure.
And I know that. But
What do people say?
a lot of people were like, hell no, I wouldn't get out of that car, which is what I thought they would say. But there were a few people that were like, yeah, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? But it was still a lot of people that said yes. Like, it was about a quarter of the poll that said they would get into that car. I think it's important because it shows off a little bit of my personality. And I think that that's important, even though it really does seem, and especially like if you listen to a bunch of different YouTube videos, it seems like the algorithm is geared to best serve you when you're consistent and when you're in a little niche. And that might be true. But if that's true, then maybe that's why I just don't have like hundreds of thousands of followers, because I can't do that. Like, that's too boring to me. I just won't want to do this, number one. But then number two, it takes away from the complexity of being an individual. Like, you're not just one person that's stuck in one niche. Like, it's kind of like when someone sees a comedian out and about and they just expect them to start telling jokes. It's like, they're not at work. Like, yeah, that's what they do and they're good at it. But maybe they want to talk about entrepreneurial ventures. Maybe they want to discuss psychology, or maybe they want to discuss theology, right? But when you see somebody, you have such a narrow view of them. And I hate that. And that's also another thing that I'm trying to kind of break the cycle of people thinking that that's the norm. And if the small price is that, my following doesn't grow as fast, like, I'm okay with that, because I'd rather have fun doing this. People are so worried about followers and likes. My concern is impact. Am I being impactful? Am I actually providing something of value? Am I actually helping people? And even if you're helping 10 to 20 people on a regular basis, like, that's huge. Like, people think like, oh, like, what? I only got 50 likes. It's like, imagine if you had 50 people around you in a room. That's a lot of people. And so I think that being authentic to yourself and allowing yourself to portray yourself as a complex individual with those different parts is one of the things that has allowed me to enjoy this so much.
I would argue that's also a big part of your success. I think the world, and especially the social media world, is starved for that authenticity. and you are giving people you in a way that's still respectful of your own privacy, but they get to see that side of you through your stories. They get to engage with you in a way that I haven't seen a lot of other people capitalize on. And I think it just comes naturally to you, but it's part of that success. And it's not a game, because I know you well in a personal capacity. And I can tell our audience that the person that you see online with Dr. Nozile is the person that he is in real life. He's not playing a character or anything.
He is that crazy.
And so, no, that's not what I said. No, but you bring that authenticity. So
I appreciate that, brother.
And I think that that's important, and that comes through. And we talk a lot about that, is that when people come on social and they say, what do I post? What should I say? And they're so busy trying to craft something. I think that's where they get stuck, is because they're creating content or they're creating a persona that's not them, then that's not sustainable because it's a forced fit.
Exactly. I mean, when it comes to like, what do I say, especially if you're a dermatologist, right? You're doing education. How I come up with content's really easy. Like at the beginning of it, it was just when I was early on and I didn't have followers, I pulled from my patients. Like if you're seeing 40, 45 patients a day, you're getting a lot of questions. And if I have 10 people asking the same question in a different way, okay, I recognize that there's a knowledge gap, and that's content. Or if somebody comes into the office and they're like, I saw this on TikTok, that's going to be a post, right? I know I'm going to feel strongly about it one way or the other. It's like, that is very right, or that is absolutely horrifically wrong.
Can I contour with my sunscreen?
Like,
Right.
I guess as long as you just apply it all over yourself, you don't need to contour. Like, put the sunscreen on, or like, when the whole poof facial thing was going on, I was just like, how is this? Like, how are there two opinions on this? Like, I feel like there's only one way to feel about this. Don't put poop on your face, right? Don't put it on your skin anywhere. Don't put it on your feet.
Oh, I think I missed that one. I missed
You're
that
lucky,
one. I
Mimi.
really missed that one, and I'm glad I did.
Oh, I don't know how you missed that one. Yeah, it was everywhere.
I'm really happy to. Ignorance is bliss. And let me ask you another question. So speaking of like what you post and if you reach 50 people or make an impact, what does success look like to you? How do you evaluate what good looks like? When you said like the music page, nobody was coming. Now you have followers. You ask to see your followers' opinions. How do you know, or how do you gauge for yourself whether something worked?
So how do I gauge whether something worked and what I think are success? I think are two different things in my mind. I mean, even in the music page, like I was still happy about it because there were still people that loved my music. What I wasn't happy about is that it wasn't really helping further my career in music. And that's what the whole point of it was. And it was a world that I wasn't used to. As to how do I know something worked? It's really nice when you get a message from a follower, or even if I get a message from someone that isn't a follower and they just say, thank you for making this post. This was so helpful. If I get one of those posts, I'm on a high for at least a month because there was someone that truly found value in something. And the thing is, as dermatologists, like we see these things every day, like, right? Like we see certain conditions every day, we'll see acne every day. So it gets downplayed in our mind because it's not our skin and because we see it so much. But you have to remember that each one of these people is an individual. This is their life. And it's funny because we downplay it. But if a dermatologist were to have a face full of pimples, we're freaking out, right? Like all of a sudden we feel like a fraud. And so I think that just knowing and just getting those reminders that people are actually receiving help and receiving value from the content, that to me lets me know that I'm doing something right. Because another thing is you have to remember, not a lot of people are going to always give you recognition, right? Like there are a lot of people that love you and that think about you every day that you have no idea are thinking about you. And so if one person's coming out to say it, I'm understanding that there are other people that feel that way. As for what success looks like for me in social media, everything I've been doing, like I really don't care how many followers I have. What I love is that this has led me to meet phenomenal human beings, like Dustin Portella. Like he is now a very, very close friend of mine. I mean, I would consider family. And there are other dermatologists and creators that I've met and that I've gotten to create and establish these really wonderful relationships with. And they have amazing intellect. And, I get to pick their brains and we talk about things, whether it be skincare or again, like psychology. And, we talk about existence and the universe and the human plight, and where we're heading as a people. And that fills my cup. And then on top of that, even though I don't have, say, as large a following as some of my friends, I've gotten to have really cool experiences. And to me, experiences beat out any of that other. Because again, I never cared much about social media. So followers and likes, like, it doesn't really compute to me. It doesn't translate into anything tangible to me. But when I get to, say, go on a movie set and act with actors, which is super intimidating, by the way, because they're like, you're a doctor. Why are you here? Okay. But it's like, I'm getting to stretch my brain cells because I'm getting to do something that I don't ever do. And when I'm on that set, like, I'm talking to the producer, I'm talking to the lighting guy. And like, you realize that there's so much that goes into lighting.
Oh my God, yes.
I would have never imagined. All of that fascinates me. I love seeing the different parts of what makes something work. And I love learning about those things. And it just shows me like how unique and how cool, like, each part and each individual that does that part is. It's like getting to have those experiences. There's no better success than that. Great people, great experiences. Like, I think that's what determines success for me in social media. And then how do I know I'm doing something right? Or how do I feel like I've done something right? Or how do I fill my cup? It's when I know that I've provided information, valuable information and education that people otherwise might not have had access to.
I mean, that's so well said and just reinforces the authenticity that from day one, you're doing something that you love because you love it, and the opportunities that it's created outside of social media to accelerate your career in acting, singing, making connections with people, all of these unintended consequences that really came from just, I want to help people that may have health disparities to better understand their health. And you get to do that in a way that's magnified. And the lesson that I hope that the audience takes away is to really just bring your authentic self into social media, that you do not have to create a character. You do not have to stop being yourself. And the thing that I've told Mimi before is I felt like medical school and residency just beat my personality out of me to just turn me into this, robot. And I never knew I had a creative side until I started social media. I kind of like doing this. I kind of like, I always loved attention, but, I thought I would get that through sports or academics, but to be able to create in a new way. And I think that more people probably have that in them than realize. And if you have something that you love to do behind the scenes, like music, maybe you're great at piano, maybe you love to art, to create, sculptures or paintings. I wondered if you had any advice for anybody else that maybe has some of those skills to bring more of the unique talents that they have into social media.
Oh, 100%. I think that is vital, and it's soon going to be a requirement if you want to grow and keep an audience in social media, to show a little more of yourself, a little more of your talent. And what you said resonates with me, like medical school, residency. Like, I was a creative person, an artistic person, and I feel like, and again, I'm a very animated and a very goofy person. And I feel like med school and especially residency, because, you're trying to get into dermatology, it's real hard. It's real competitive. And it's real easy for a really animated, outgoing, loud person like me to rub someone the wrong way. Okay. And so like, I felt like it beat all of that out of me. And that is another thing that I love about social media, allowed me to bring it back. But I do think it's important. It's unique because I do feel like social media has been around so long that people are starting to turn away a little bit from like the larger corporations, and they want to go more towards the individual, right? And that's why you'll see some people that like start these large companies, but their individual profile has more followers than their actual company. And so I do think that it's important because we want to be able to know who it is we're following. You want to be able to relate to them. It was Gary Vee said, like, he puts everything on his social, like, because there are a lot of people that literally follow him because he's a Jets fan. I just say go Jets, and all of a sudden everybody's a Jets fan. It's like, who is this guy? We're going to follow him. Like, they had no entrepreneurial endeavors. They did not care. They didn't want to learn anything about business, but they liked how he talked. They liked what he said because he showed up as his authentic self. And oh yeah, by the way, he goes for our team. Like, heck yeah, we love this guy. And also, I think that you inadvertently grant other people the permission to do that themselves when you do it, when you set that example yourself, which I think is another powerful thing that you can do.
You're giving permission. You're giving permission. What if there are other more extrovert, loud people studying dermatology, and they're having similar thoughts and feelings that you are having, and that, you could make that impact even there.
For sure. So yeah, I do think that it's important that you share your passions because number one, it's going to show that you're a real human being. It's going to show a side of you that isn't just the niche because that's what everybody's saying. Everybody's seeing the niche. Everybody's coming on, hi, we're going to talk about hair loss and we're going to talk about acne. It's like, well, everybody's talking about what differentiates you from everybody else because people are going to want that information, but they're going to want to support someone that they like. They're going to want to support someone that is relatable to them. And so that's why I tell everybody, they're like, oh, well, it just seems like social media is so saturated. It's like, yeah, but you're the only you. Like it might be saturated. That's why you bring your individuality into what you post because you're always going to resonate with people. And I always tell people, everybody has an audience. The only thing that's going to stop you is your fear. Like if you don't have that audience by 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years, my mindset is it doesn't matter how long it takes. You will find your audience if you just keep going.
Yeah, very well said. Bring that personal touch and your unique abilities, I think, is going to be in higher demand than ever before as we see more and more AI content come out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure.
Because people are still living their lives. They're still having their own individual struggles. And no matter how good an AI video or voice might get, it's not a real person. And people still are starved for real connection and authenticity. And I think it's a better time than ever to bring your real self to social media.
I couldn't agree more. We spoke to actually a coach that Dustin worked with about building a brand. And she said something very similar about you're the only you, about bringing yourself and having your own niche because that's individual to you. So I find that very, very powerful.
The one thing about bringing your individuality, not everybody's going to like it. That's another thing I like to talk because people are like, oh, well, but what if they don't like me? People aren't going to like you. And I think it's important to be okay with that, right? Like I want nothing but for everyone around me to be happy. And I want nothing but to spread love to everyone. But if you don't want to accept that, that's your responsibility. That's not on me. So I'm not going to let that impact me negatively, and I'm not going to let it impact how I move. And so I think that's another important thing because some people will be like, oh, well, someone said something negative, and so now I'm discouraged. You have to be okay with being yourself and be confident in being yourself and understand that when someone says something negative, it has nothing to do with you and it has everything to do with them.
No, I think that's actually very important. Do you find yourself getting a lot of negative comments?
No, but to be honest, even when I do, I don't care. Like, because my whole thing is,
I think that's great.
no, but the thing is, how can you care about someone that's far away that you have no idea who this person is? This person could be someone who's just really, really upset with themselves and their lives and they're, in their parents' basement and they're just trolling the internet. And so they're just looking for reactions. And you let something that trivial get to you.
Yeah, you don't even know if they mean what they said.
Exactly. You have no idea what their intention is. The only people I care about are the people I hold close. If you have an opinion and I hold you close, okay, now I'm listening. But I also know there isn't malintent behind it. I'm listening as if it's feedback. And the thing is, my family and my friends are championship shit talkers. I'm talking about Hall of Fame. So growing up, all we did was trash each other. We would run each other through the mud. There's nothing anyone on this internet could say that would hurt my feelings. Because I promise you, I have a friend that will dog you out when it comes to trying to get to me. All right. And again, I'm a shit talker too. I think it's hilarious. So if you say something good, I think it's gold. And that was actually why one of my best TikToks was when one of my TikToks went viral. And it was because they were going in on, I don't know why, my hair looked like extra weird in the post. They were going in on my hair. When I say they were going, like, they were not letting up. I had thousands of comments.
About your hair?
Oh, yeah. About my hair. There were a couple other things in there, too. I turned it into a post. I did a mean tweets post where I was reading the comments. And some of these people are hilarious. I mean, like, they are funny. So why not laugh about it? Like, if you're not able to laugh at yourself, I think that shows a little bit that you have something that you're a little self-conscious about. Like, I'm not self-conscious about things. Like, yeah, sometimes I look goofy. Sometimes I look dumb. That's okay. I'm not expecting myself to be perfect.
Again, mic drop every single time. Mic drop.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you something a little bit more tactical because I think it's also important on a different side. Can you talk to us just quickly about your process? You said before that you plan things. I want to talk about the tools you use and if you have a team, because I also think that's an important part to talk about to people who are starting or people want to know how to do it.
So my process, what do I use? Do I have a team? I do not have an amazing team like Dr. Portela does. I do, however, have a video editor who, ironically, Dustin Portela, Dr. Portela actually put me in with because I was going to quit making content. I was absolutely over it. Editing videos is not a forte of mine. It's not my strong suit. It was taking up a lot of time. And I realized there's no way I'm going to put out content every day if I'm editing these videos. And, like when you're wanting to gauge if someone's going to be cool with like helping you out with finding a video editor, like I didn't want Dr. Portela's editor. I just wanted to know if maybe he had a friend that could edit for me because, you don't want the same exact style as someone else. But Dr. Portela's like, dude, no, just use my editor. Why not? I told him, I was like, I don't need yours. Like, I just want, like maybe do they have a friend that also edits? Because, video editors, no video editors. And I was like, no, dude, just use mine. And like before I could even like hang up the phone, like he had plugged me in a group chat on WhatsApp. And it's just like, dude, that was freaking awesome. Like, because again, not only did he introduce me to making a derm page, it's like I would have stopped if I wouldn't have found a video editor and he helped me with that too.
I'm not letting you quit.
My guy.
I love this. All roads lead back to Dr. Portela.
Yeah, man. He's literally been like my big brother in social media.
Oh,
no, seriously. Like he's like anytime I've asked for guidance, he's went above and beyond in giving it. I mean, not just guidance, again, like resources. But when it comes to the things that I use, this was something I finally put Dr. Portela on. This is what I use to record. So this is my DJI. And I know you're all like, oh, the plastic is still on there. Yes, it is. I'm OCD. Don't judge me. All right. But I do use it. I love this thing. It has a little gimbal on it. It turns on. It has a tracker. It can follow you. And then you can also screw it into a tripod. So I just put it into my tripod and it follows me around the house and I can record. And then you can also stick your DJI mic into it as well. So that's what I use. I put it on the tripod. My lights, I have a ring light. I never use it except for on my midweek music or what used to be Music Mondays. I just have like these little squares. I have like 3 of these. Again, I just put them into my tripods. I actually have a tripod here. This is my tripod. I screw it in there. I have 3 lights. I have my DJI and my mic, and that's all I need. And I mean, honestly, you really don't need all that. Like you really could just do it with a phone. And this also does have an attachment for a phone, and you can just get a DJI mic or even like a cheaper mic if you don't want to spend that kind of money on a mic. You don't need a lot to create content. I mean, now that it's becoming more fun, and I'm actually getting return on investment, and it's like, okay, let me put some money into it. But my getup is really simple. I would like to learn more about lighting. I'm probably going to ask Dustin some questions about that because I know he has like a whole studio back there. I can already see it back there. It looks like he's about to, I don't even know what it is. Like, it looks magnificent. So you just see my bright face and then you see something in the background. Who knows? You might see my wife run back there and just start throwing her hands up. You don't need a lot. And I think that society is starting to go away from that overly edited look anyway. And they want more natural videos that look like it's just you talking to the camera.
Authenticity. One thing I want to hit before we wrap up is kind of your approach to brand deals. Because you're so good at being authentic, I wondered if you could talk about how you evaluate brand deals to make sure that the content, the product, the message that a brand wants to get to your audience, that it remains true to what you do on social media. How do you evaluate brands?
Well, the first thing I would say is never be afraid to walk away if the brand doesn't align with your values. If the brand doesn't align with your values, do not be afraid to walk away. Because there will be some times I've had to walk away from brands because they said, oh, we want you to make this claim, this definitive claim. And it wasn't something that I truly believed. And they pushed me on. And I was just like, all right, obviously we've come to a crossroads, we've come to an impasse, and we cannot move forward. The other thing I would say is, and I learned this early on, just because you love a brand and it's a good quality brand doesn't mean every product is going to be a good quality product. Because I will say that there was also one time, and this has shaped how I look at brand deals, but there was a time where there was a brand that I absolutely love, will not name it, but I loved them. And so I said, yeah, I'll do whatever with that product before. And this is a product I had never tried before. So I signed, I did it. And then afterwards I realized it was not a great product. And I was really upset because I now attached my name to this product. And there's no quicker way to obliterate your credibility than by doing something like that. So when it comes to how I look at brand deals, there's a few things. Number one, do I know the product? And if I don't know the product, I now have them send me the product and I need to test the product. If there's a claim saying like, oh, this or this within weeks, I'll be testing that product for weeks before I'm willing to do this deal. That's first and foremost. So I always make sure that I know the product. I make sure that I align with whatever claims they want to say in the brief. Right. And I definitely like to stay away from definitives. I also don't like if a brand wants you to say like, oh, say that this is your go-to or this is your number one. If it's not actually my go-to or my number one, if it is, then yeah, I'll say that. But if I'm saying that on every post, once again, I'm hurting my credibility. And just because a product isn't my go-to product doesn't mean it's not a great product. We also have to remember everybody's skin's a little bit different, right? Just like we have genetic variability, we have variability in our skin types. And so how something applies onto my skin and how the finish that it gives to my skin, it's not going to be the same as, say, the finish that it gives to Dr. Portel's skin or to your skin, maybe. And so that's why I'm okay with it. As long as it's a good product, yeah, I might not say this is my go-to, but I'm still okay endorsing it because it might be someone else's favorite product. The important thing is that it's a good quality product that's not going to destroy your skin barrier or lead to reactions. That's how I approach deals. I approach deals making sure that the brands understand that there are certain things I'm not going to be willing to say, certain claims I'm not going to be willing to make. And they also have to be okay with me saying no from time to time.
Very well said. I think that's solid advice for anybody listening. Wherever you're at on your creator journey, so many pearls to pick up from this episode. And just get started. Bring your real self there and enjoy the journey.
Exactly. And just be able to say no. It's like, everybody's like, oh, well, but they're going to pay me. It's like, yeah, but is that check worth your credibility? Like, is it worth your integrity? And for some of you, you might say yes.
Maybe somebody would.
Yeah. And if so, it's probably going to be a short road for you here. And that's okay. But we'll love you while you're here. But otherwise, I think integrity over everything.
Yeah. Similar approach. I say no to way more things than I say yes to.
100%.
So many amazing things you shared today. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallace, for making the time to sit and visit with us. And where can people find you online? What are your handles on social media?
My handle is on pretty much all my platforms, DR for doctor, and then Wallace Nozile. And of course, you've probably never heard my last name unless you know a family member of mine. So it's DRWALLACE. And then the last name is N as in November, OZILE.
And we'll have links to that in the podcast show notes and on the YouTube video description. Thank you so much for listening to us on this week's episode. Please leave us a 5-star review wherever you happen to be listening. Share the episode with a friend who'd like to get started on social media, and we'll catch you on the next episode.